Welcome to I Was Just Overthinking, a weekly podcast where Z overthinks out loud about health, lifestyle, career, friendships, people, and everything in between. I don't really look like I am overthinking, or I don't really sound like I'm overthinking. I usually come across as a very confident person. This is spade. Oh, I just realized that's spade. It's very easy to be rude and not nice to people. Hello everyone. Welcome to I Was Just Overthinking. This is your host C. I am welcoming you into the very first episode of this podcast. I am so happy, so excited. Can you tell? Can you tell from my voice? I am extremely just nervous to get this started, but you know what? You are here and I am here. So let's jump straight into episode 1. My name is Zarif. I'm originally from Azerbaijan, born and bred. Big shout out to you guys. Love my home, love my hometown, Baku. Absolutely beautiful place with beautiful people. So you guys, if anyone from Azerbaijan listening to this episode, sending you loads of love, hugs, and positivity. You guys are the best. I'm 25 years old. I work in the finance industry. I moved to UK from Azerbaijan when I was 17 years old. I didn't really have any friends or family around, so it was quite an interesting journey I went on, really. And, said goodbye to my family on the other side. I really felt some sort of excitement, and I thought to myself, wow, I'm about to embark on a crazy journey. It's going to be full of ups and downs, but I am so here for it, and here I am. Well, who would have thought it was all worth it? I moved to UK to pursue my bachelor's in arts degree. I did my BA in international relations with economics. I liked how it added a bit of a, a bit of a technicality to my degree, because arts degrees are very different, and to me it just made sense to have something in there that had a bit of maths, statistics, something a bit more financy. It made sense to me. I then went on to pursue a master's degree, but I pursued my master's degree in science, in pure economics. I must say it was one of the hardest years of my life, not because bad things were happening to me per se. It was just a very difficult master's degree. It was a difficult subject to go through, especially when economics was simply my minor when I was doing my bachelor's, but I came out the other way. I graduated with a merit, so it was all good at the end. After I finished my master's degree, I started my journey in the corporate world. I started as a tax analyst. Now I am a senior analyst in a different company. I called the podcast I Was Just Overthinking simply because I overthink a lot. When I say I overthink a lot, I think a lot of people in my life, whenever I would tell them this, they don't really realize the extent to which I actually overthink. It could be a social situation with friends. Someone could say something, or I would say something to them, and I would kind of go home and start kind of replaying that in my mind like a million times, and think to myself, oh my god, did I upset someone? Did I say something wrong? Was that bad? And funnily enough, it's usually just you really going through those cycles of you know, shall I say spirals, not even cycles, spirals of you know, going down the same rabbit hole, thinking about, oh, I should have said or done something differently. Oh, that was rude. Oh, I didn't mean to. And I feel like with overthinking, it's a very difficult thing to go through in your mind constantly, especially when a lot of it does not come out externally. So when I am in a social situation or at work or with my family, I don't really look like I am overthinking, or I don't really sound like I'm overthinking. I usually come across as a very confident person, you know, out there, very happy, positive, which I am. However, I think it's not really obvious that you overthink a lot. And the personality that I have, where I pay a lot of attention to people's feelings, I care, and I try to treat people with a lot of kindness and love, I think a lot of people don't realize that it is actually hard work. At the end of the day, it's very easy to be rude and not nice to people, but it is so hard to care, not because caring is hard, but because the work that goes in your mind, at least from my side, is pretty exhausting. The podcast is just me overthinking out loud about various topics, things that I've gone through, things that I've learned, things I think that people would find insightful or interesting to listen to. If you were wondering, yes, I will be having guests on my episodes. I would love to have as many guests as possible on so many topics and different things I would like to talk to you guys about. We are now in the Q&A segment of this episode. Follow cpod.cast on Instagram to submit your questions every week. The first question is from Narminovich. Our question is, how to be so disciplined? It's a good question. I think discipline genuinely comes from a mindset that you have. For me personally, what's helped me to stay disciplined in how I eat, how I exercise, how I get my work done, I think it's all about habits. Forming a healthy habit is important. You need to keep in mind that when you are trying to form a habit, that habit needs to be as convenient as possible. What I mean by that is, for instance, you're trying to get a bit more healthy and you think that to achieve that is to go to gym more often. If your gym is really far from where you live, it will be really difficult for you to actually commit to that habit and make it a part of your lifestyle. So when you are trying to shape these habits that will help you on the journey of becoming a better person, you need to think about convenience. Not the convenience of mind, not that, oh, I'm going to do something that is inside of my comfort zone, but rather, I want to do something that challenges me. However, I need to make sure that it is accessible to me. Thanks so much for your question. I really appreciate it. The next question is from Lewis Coles 98. The question reads, do you note the power of speaking so many languages, or is it just low-key and something you grew up with? Thank you so much, Lewis, for this question. I really appreciate it. He's a dear friend. FYI, everyone, I speak Russian, Azerbaijani, English, and Turkish fluently. There's a couple more in there I can understand, like French and etc. But those are the main languages I speak and understand, obviously, fluently. I do note the power of speaking so many languages. However, I must say that a lot of people that live in the country that I am from, that who are Azerbaijani or who are from that part of the world, they are usually very worldly people. They do tend to speak more than one or two languages simply because of how those regions actually developed. And I do note the power of it. I think especially when I moved to UK, I started understanding the genuine power it holds. Knowing more languages does equal at least for me, to understanding and relating to people on a deeper level. One thing I actually realized about the English language is that English language lacks emotion. I grew up, reading Russian literature. I grew up learning things, learning science, learning everything, biology, whatever it is, in Russian. And I've kind of learned to express myself better in Russian language, but that goes without saying that Russian language does have a lot of capacity for expressing yourself. So I think, yes, there's definitely power to speaking more than one or two languages because it allows you to understand the world around you better. But I must say, it is kind of low key to me at the same time, simply because people from Azerbaijan are usually pretty much in a similar boat, if not more actually. They would speak even more languages. So it's definitely low key, but I think I realized the actual power of it when I moved to UK. And obviously UK, parts of UK are extremely diverse, and walking down the street in London after work, I hear 3 or 4 different languages I recognize, and there is something really beautiful in that. So thank you, Lewis, for that amazing question. Who is your hero? Thank you for this question. Pad paid spade. Oh, I just realized that's spade. I grew up looking up to everyone in my family. My father, to my mother, to my brothers, to my aunt. I think I have an incredible family, and they're very accomplished people, and I've always seen the best in them, and they've always inspired me and shaped me into the person that I am today. So my hero or heroes will always be my family. We have another question from Just Jordan with a double N at the end. What does contentment look like for you? Also, big fan. Thank you so much, Jordan, for this question. For instance, I've had a long day at work. I went for a walk. I went to the gym, did my cardio session, whatever. Came back, took a shower, sat on the couch, made myself some tea, and just sat there for a second, for a couple of minutes, if you like. To me, that's contentment. But that's a really tiny example, because I think you can find contentment literally in everything around you, in every situation. Contentment does come with a certain feeling, I believe, feeling of peace and peace of mind, especially for someone who overthinks a lot. I appreciate peace of mind, and hopefully that answers your question. That is a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for joining Z. If you enjoyed it, share the episode with someone who you think would like it too. And follow me for more on Instagram at zpod.cast. Until next time, don't overthink too much and take it easy.